he knew. But David did one day say to me, because I made out with Gene Simmons, and then Gene Simmons stalked me. And David said, you know what, Debbie? You are a very smart girl who does very stupid things.
Wait a minute. Did you say, wait, I almost didn't want to believe that you just said you made out with Gene
I
Simmons. Did
made
you
out with
say
Gene.
that?
Yeah, Bob Chiappardi had rented out the Santa Monica Pier for a concrete marketing party. And Gene Simmons was there. And me and Andy Gould and Bob Chiappardi drank pina coladas for breakfast before going to this party at like the Ivy or something. And so I'm like tipsy. It's like noon. We're in like Bob's convertible. It was such a crazy day. I walk in, I see Gene Simmons. I said, I'm going to kiss him. Bob's like, they're like, what? I said, I'm going to kiss him. I've been looking at that tongue since I'm 13 years old. I'm going to kiss him. So Bob's like, well, I can introduce you. And I was like, I got this. So I walk over and Gene's like in a huddle with a bunch of people. Everybody's sort of huddled. And it turned out, and so I just break in and I get into the huddle and they're telling dirty jokes. Like he's telling dirty jokes. So the huddle breaks up and I looked at him and he grabbed my face and he said, who are you? And I said, would you kiss me? And he just grabbed me. And the next thing I knew, like Gene's tongue's down my mouth and his hands down my pants. And he's like grabbing my ass. So then that ends. And somebody has filmed this because years later, I heard from somebody, I don't know who it is, but maybe they'll listen to this and they'll DM me or something. But somebody said, I think I have film footage of you kissing Gene Simmons. And I said, yes, you do.
Wow.
So then he said, well, he's like, who are you? And I said, oh, I do A&R at A&M, but I work out of the New York office. So that's it. I hang out with Bob and Andy. We do the party, whatever. I leave. Next day, my hotel phone rings. I'm staying at the Bellagio. I always stayed at the Bellagio. My hotel phone rings, and it's Gene Simmons. Like, he found out who the New York A&R person was, what her name was, and then he had somebody find out where I was staying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that freak you out?
It totally freaked me out. And I got really scared. And so I went running to David Anderle and I was like, what do I do? And he said, Debbie, you are a very smart girl who does very stupid things. He was like, Gene Simmons is a very powerful man. You can't play around with people like that. But he called my office in New York for like months after that, and I was never there. Like whenever he called, and my assistant knew his voice. She was like, I've heard this voice my whole life. I know who this is. But he would say it was Joe Smith. Tell her Joe Smith called. I'm in New York. Tell her Joe Smith called. So what happens is my assistant and her boyfriend want to go see Kiss. That's what she wanted for a Christmas present. I get Kiss tickets. I do not realize that the tickets that I have, we're practically sitting on the stage. So, and we're on Gene's side. So I'm like, oh my God, he's going to see me. This is terrible. And then I'm like, no, I have a cowboy hat on. My hair was in pigtails that day. He's not going to recognize me. Steve, last song of the set, he's standing on that riser. And he points at me. And then he does that. I ran out of Madison Square Garden so fast. I was like, I have to go. He's going to